Hi there guys, welcome to an episode. What shit on my head? So you may have seen in my previous Alice video that I fitted the new coilover system to the car, lowered her, and she looks really nice, I must admit. Have a look at this. I think those wheels look really neat tucked up under those arches there. I love the stance of her, I think she looks really nice. The biggest problem I've got is that if you can see that front wheel there, it's pointing inwards. And that wheel there is also pointing inwards. So I've got massive toe in on it. I'm not sure why I've got massive toe in on the car with just fitting the shock absorbers to it. But it's, for some reason, it's got an enormous amount of toe in on it. So I do need to get that sorted out, but something else has happened. My focus, a lot of you will have known that I've got a focus. I've done a couple of videos where I changed like the water pump. I've also changed the thermostat. I've had problems with the heating. The temperature gauge will go up to about the middle where it should be. And all of a sudden, I'll lose heat. It'll go ice cold. I'll watch the temperature gauge very quickly drop down to the bottom, and slowly rise up again, and it'll start to get slightly warm, or it could stay cold for a bit. But I'm getting like warm, cold, hot, cold. The gauge is going up, down, up, down. I also noticed that the reservoir has always got pressure in it. Even if the car's been stood like all day, it'll still have pressure in the reservoir. So I did see on a Facebook group the other day that somebody else was having the same problems. And they've kind of said, a lot of people said at the same time, it's the same sort of thing, and that is head gasket. And I've been kind of deep down knowing that it was probably the head gasket that's gone, but I want to avoid it. I don't really want to do the head gasket on the car, but I don't think I've got much choice, to be honest. So I've ordered the parts for that. I've also had to order a set of brakes for it. The front brakes are, well, they've gone pretty rusty actually, with it being stood for like 3 months while we were in England and while we were driving Alice before and after England, the trip. So the brakes tend to pulse and vibrate when you brake on them now. I already had a set of rear discs and pads for it, but now I've had to order a set of front discs and pads. So I've ordered a gasket kit for the head gasket. I don't know what head gasket I need yet until I get the head gasket off. I've also ordered a service kit for it because it's time for its annual service, so I've ordered all of that lot. So in the next few weeks there's going to be a couple of focus videos coming out, one for the head gasket, one for the brakes all the way around it. I've already done a service on it, so I won't be doing the film on that. If you need to have a look at how to do a service on a 1.6 Focus, then go and check out this video. But other than that, head gasket I will be doing, and I'll be filming that obviously, so you can come with me on that journey as well. But that means that my Focus is going to be off the road for a few days. So that means little Alice is coming back on the road again. Now, I've not taken her off the road as such just because it's winter and stuff, but I've basically not been driving her because the heater matrix inside the car broke when I took the engine out before I left to England, and I haven't replaced it yet. I haven't got hold of one yet. So I haven't replaced it. So there's actually no heating in the car whatsoever. So I did start to drive it, but it started to get slightly cold, and it's a lot nicer to drive the Focus. It's got heated seats and heated steering wheels and things like that in it. So I've been driving that for a while, but well, now I need to change the head gasket on it, and that's probably going to take me a few days. So I need to get Alice back on the road. And to do that, I think what I'm going to do right now is change the suspension back to its standard suspension, because I need to sort out the exhaust and the fuel tank before I can go back to the coilovers again. Coilovers are fairly simple to fit, can be done anywhere at any time, so I'm not too worried about it. The only thing I do need to do before I get Alice back on the road is to sort some winter wheels out. And I do have winter wheels and winter tyres, but they're ugly looking. Yeah, I better powder coat them, hadn't I? So I'm going to change from the coilovers back to the original suspension on here. Now I'm not going to film it because I've already done that on the film where I changed it. If you haven't already seen the video, then you go and watch that now, and I'll change these and I'll get back to you when we're done. Right, so that is the rear suspension all back together again. Now, while we were under here last time, I did say that putting the lowered suspension on means that you have to fit an adjustable Panhard rod. And I said that I'd got one. Now I've just managed to put the jack underneath the bottom of there, so I bent it a bit more. I could just bend it back down again. But I also mentioned that I did have an adjustable Panhard rod from Shane Baker. So while I was powder coating some other stuff today, I decided I'd powder coat that as well. So we're going to fit that now. It's only one bolt there and one bolt there. I can still fit it even though I've gone back to the original suspension. And if you remember the trip to England, this bush is knackered. Now Benjamin at Retro Outlaw Motorsport has got a set of bushes that I bought off of him. So I've now received the bush kit. So we're going to take these arms out and we're going to replace the bushes in there as well on both sides. So we've got a nice polyurethane bush kit for both the trailing arms, and we're going to fit the Panhard rod as well that also has a set of polyurethane bushes. So they're going to go in as well. So here's the Panhard rod that came all the way from England in the boot of Alice, that's now had a nice coat of matte black powder coat. So I'm going to take off the bits of tape here and the bits of tape there and the bit of tape down there, and then we're going to put the polyurethane bushes in there and we're going to fit that to the car. There we go. Right, so there we go, that is that now fitted. Now they're not difficult to fit, as you can see. I hung up this end first, adjusted that out to the hole fitted, and that's it basically. And then you lock it off when you're happy with where it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to leave that like that for the moment because I want to do a full wheel alignment. I'm just going to tighten that up for now. When I get the gauges on it and do the proper wheel alignment, we should be able to adjust that in and out accordingly. But somewhere about there should be about right. So now we'll get onto the bushes, which are fairly similar. They've got a bolt in that end and a bolt in this end, and they'll come out and we should be able to just press the bushes out. Now I'll be honest when I say that I thought this was going to be a little bit more obvious when I did take it apart, but it does come with two different types of bushes, and it comes with a sleeve that goes in the middle of the bushes. Now there are, like I say, two different types, so I was kind of thinking that maybe that was the top one and these were the bottom ones, but it doesn't look like it, and I was kind of hoping this would be more obvious, so I'm guessing that they go like that, and they go in there, but I'm not 100% sure. So I was hoping this would be a bit more obvious. Well, the good news is that that bush was easy to do, and as you can see, that was the problem. It has completely perished and fell out. So the sleeve is still left in there that I have to get out. Like I say, I assume that that goes in when that sleeve comes out, but why it's kind of only halfway, and why that doesn't have a sleeve on it, I'm not 100% sure just yet. I'm glad to say it did become more obvious when I got the sleeve out. Now looking at it, when I turned it over, I can see that the sleeve sticks all the way out on this side, whereas on that side it just sticks out a little bit. So I guess now that that goes in that way around, and the bit that is completely flat goes on that side. That's my guess anyway. Right, so I've almost got a full poly bush kit on the whole car. Bush kit on the adjustable Panhard rod. I've got now the new ones from Retro Outlaw Motorsport there in the trailing arms. I think the only thing really to replace is, I think you can replace the bump stop and the one at the tops there. I think you can replace the ones on the shock absorbers and the bottoms of the shock absorbers. I'm not 100% sure about that. Somebody will let me know if I'm wrong on that. But that's pretty much all of the bushes now needed to be done on the car. The suspension is all back to standard again. So basically I want to put the wheels back on. Once I've put the winter tyres on the wheels, we can put the wheels back on the car. Well, they do look very nice, I must say. Now that one did touch the door there, but it's on the inside of the wheel, as you can see the back side of it, and it's where the tyre goes anyway, so a tiny bit of touch-up paint and that will be fine, but they look nice as temporary wheels, I must say. I'll let them cool down for half an hour or so, and we can start fitting the tyres back on them. Well, the others cool down. I like that, they look nice. Well, this was the point where I was supposed to do an outro and say, oh great, it's all done. But it wasn't. I reversed Alice off the ramp and I found a problem. I don't know if you can see it, but you can definitely hear it. And that is that I think you can see it there, that the brake caliper catches on the inside of the wheel. And I'll see if we can see it on the inside. So I don't know if you can see it on camera, but just at the bottom there's a little scratch mark. So it just touches the wheel on the brake caliper. So it's really, really close to the brake caliper. Now I think that could possibly be sorted out with a spacer, but it's really, really tight. Now the other thing I think is that I don't have any of the clips on here that hold the caliper together, so that could be part of the problem as well. So I'm going to get a couple of those clips, the retaining clips for that caliper, but I'm also going to get a spacer. I think we can get 5mm spacers just to bring the wheel slightly out further, and hopefully that won't touch anymore. But other than that, we're done. And Alice is now ready for winter with a nice winter boots on. She's all ready for winter now. A bit unfortunate that it doesn't quite work as I was hoping to, but a quick spacer and that should work perfectly. So that's where I'm going to leave it for now. Alice is all ready for winter, and as soon as I get my parts for the Focus, I can start driving Alice, and I'll start taking the Focus apart and getting the camera out, and you can join me with that. So if there's anything you like in this video, please press that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.